to another episode of Popcorn and Possibilities. I had to hype it up today. Just another classic because Stephanie is a little too quiet and we had to bring up the volume a little bit.
Thank
Welcome
you.
to another episode. How are you doing?
Thank you for the popcorn infused hype train. I needed it. I needed it. It is we are halfway through the week and what a week it has been. You ever just have one of those weeks that feels like so much longer than it actually is?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm having
Yes.
one. I am for sure having one this week.
That definitely happens. That was my last week. This week's going a little bit better, but a little still
Hey, good.
chaotic. So I'll take it as that. But it's a big day today because today marks our season finale
Wowie, wow.
of Popcorn and Possibilities. And it's not an April Fool's joke. We're not going anywhere. This is our point where we have met the anniversary of the first episode. So we're calling it a season and starting a second season after a little bit of a break.
It's the end of an era.
Yeah. So kind of crazy. Came up on us fast. Going through the old archives. We did record a lot more than I remembered.
I thought the same exact thing. I was like, no way did we have that much archived before we actually started releasing.
Yeah, which just goes to show you, it really was a process for us. We wanted to figure out, what kind of movies we were going to watch, what kind of podcast we wanted to have. As you can see, I think it's kind of elevated from when we first started. I think when we first started, we were like kind of hindering on like storytelling / like, what are we going to do, to just kind of like evolving from that, and the fun facts and just the banter, and then seeing if the movie
we love
if
them.
the movie still holds up. Yeah, so
no, it has absolutely been a journey, and it's been everything you imagine a journey would be. It's been fun, it's been rewarding, it's been hard, it's been scary. There's been a lot of a lot of disappointment, a lot of triumph, and a whole hell of a lot of learning too. Like you said, we had to figure out who are we, right? Like what is our identity? What do we want to be? But I'm really proud. And we'll save the sappy stuff for another time, but I'm really proud of how far we've come because, I think we've shared this, in the past, but this started with the clink of a wine glass and a dream last December. Or 2 Decembers ago. Jesus, 2 Decembers ago at this point. That's crazy. But I'm really loving the path that we're on, and I'm having just an absolute blast, and I can't wait to see where we go in the next year, in the next season.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, and Maya had said in the previous episode, which was like, make sure it's something that you love doing.
Yes.
Yes. And because
otherwise
you're gonna get burnt out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really like, as we were like talking about this, like being the season finale and stuff, like just seeing the whole year in whole, and is like, yeah, like, okay, we wanted to start the podcast, but I think like we also had this idea of like, wow, there's so many movies we watched and we're like, does this like even still hold up? Or like, wow, there's still so many like we haven't seen, and it's like they're classics, like we should go back and watch it. So it really is like friends forming and like movie bonding, like that really kind of grew this podcast, I would say. And then just hearing people's stories. I mean, we heard a lot of different perspectives, and going into like season 2, I want to like dive deeper into that.
It's really been a combination, like you said. Like we've obviously we're bonded for life after this.
right.
You're my bestie for the restie, as far as that is concerned. But it's also like we're both lovers of pop culture. We're both lovers of people and hearing people's stories and relating to people. So I've loved both aspects, like you said. It's not just about the stories we watch on the big screen, but it's the stories of everybody kind of going through their journey of life and things that they loved and maybe paths they weren't expecting to be on. And
Mm,
it's been so fun and so enlightening navigating through all of these different stories, because you take a little piece of that, everybody's story and everybody's journey. Even when you watch a
mm,
movie, half the time there's something that you take with you from that
yeah.
experience. So I don't know, man, we're better people now than we were when we started this, I think.
Yeah.
And that's not to say we weren't good people before this, but we're just
Right.
enriched with so many different perspectives and thoughts and viewpoints on things, and I think that's really special.
Yeah. Um, what do you think like you've learned so far? Like one of the things that might have you learned so far from doing this podcast?
No story is too small to tell. I think we've seen that in some of the, even some of the big screen type movies we've watched, even if they're ones
Mm,
that didn't necessarily air. But whenever you watch
mm,
something that's inspired by true events or based on a true story or something, at the heart of all of the spectacle is somebody's story.
mm,
And then with our pop in interviews, hearing, like you said, from actors and directors to fellow podcasters to, we've got our people starting their own small business journeys and what that venture has been like.
right.
So it's so important that people be able to talk about their journey and their story. And like I said a couple minutes ago, like we should all strive to take something away from the stories we hear and the things that people tell us
Mm,
that help us grow and develop and see things through a different lens that maybe we didn't see before, you know?
yeah. Yeah. I think to tie on to add on to that is like I just remember the beginning, which we were so harsh on like having an opinion on anything, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, is this bad? Should I not say this? Should I not say that I don't like this movie or whatever?" And
Now we
like
just don't
now it's
care.
just now, yeah, like now it's just like so much more freeing.
Yeah.
It's still being respectable, of course, but like, being a little bit more loose and like
Yeah.
talking about like random things and stuff.
Yeah.
That can be
Not,
hard, especially when
yeah.
you're in groups that are like, "Oh, I all love this movie," so you're like, "I didn't, but I don't want to be
I don't
left
want to be
out."
that
So I'll just be
guy.
like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
it was good, yeah."
uh, I mean, yeah, from that perspective, oh God, we've learned so many things. Like, I've had to learn, and you've helped me through this many times, but like,
Mhm.
stop critiquing every little thing you say. Stop getting in your head about that one line that maybe didn't come out the way you hoped it would. It's nothing is the end of the world.
Right.
And I also
Right.
learned that in spite of, like, despite all odds, you will learn to be okay hearing the sound of your own voice in
Mhm.
playback. Because the first
Yep.
couple episodes, I was like, I can't listen to this. Like, there's
Right,
absolutely
right.
no way that I can listen to myself talk for an hour.
Mhm.
But you told me, you're like, yeah, you'll get used to it. And I did. I did.
It's only
It's,
step 1 too. Wait till you hear your
yeah,
voice sing. Then it's a it's a whole 'nother ball
I'm
game to
sure.
overcome.
I'm sure.
But yeah, let this be a message if you're listening now and you wanna tell your story. It again, I know we say it a lot, but if I don't want you to be shy. We're pretty easygoing people, you know. We
Just
I
a
didn't
couple
live
of
my
regular
dream.
guys.
Yeah, we're just a couple regular guys. But anyway, we'll get back to more of it, more of our season finale stuff. Let's get into the season finale movie, and I really, really wish I could play this slow
I
instrumental, but
know.
I don't want to get flagged. So we're
We needed something of epic size and proportion to round out season one.
yes. So we did Titanic,
Yes, we did. Yes, sir.
the 1997 product. sidebar, we're not done with the 90s again. We just this was our season finale of one. So don't think
Yeah, you're not
oh, they
out of the
missed the movie, I
90s
want
yet.
them. Right, right.
Yeah.
So let me start off here. Rotten Tomatoes has it at an 88%. Popcorn has it at a 69. Metacritic
Really?
just yeah,
Oh
yeah.
God, I thought audience score would have been higher on that.
Metacritic to 75, user an 8.3, and IMDb is 8.0 out of 10. It is kind of crazy, like for the amount of Oscars this movie, because it was like 11, I think,
Yeah.
and there's one like it's so critically acclaimed. I don't know. It's kind of wild to me that it's 69. It seems low. I mean,
I
Speed for God's sakes is higher than that.
So what I will say is it doesn't always surprise me when an Oscar winner has more critical acclaim than audience acclaim because
Mm,
audience voting has nothing to do with who takes home an Oscar, you know?
right. True.
And I don't know, sometimes I find that movies that are critic darlings, I'm like, I was bored out of my face. Like I did not love this one. Or
Right.
it just didn't resonate with me the same, whatever the case is.
Mm,
But this, I feel, is a pretty universally beloved movie. I just, from what you hear people say about this movie, you'd think the audience score would be better.
yeah. 100%. I mean, it happens. Maybe just for all we know, it could be people who are like, I don't like sad movies, and I'm just gonna shit on it. Like,
Well, if half of the ratings are why is this over 3 hours long? Fair assessment, fair criticism. It did not need to be 3 hours and 15 minutes or whatever it is.
it didn't, but stay tuned. I'll tell you why.
Oh God.
Um, all right. So, initial thoughts going into this rewatch. What do you
Mine,
think?
all right. So when we first decided we were going to do this, there were two wolves within me, right? The
Hmm.
one that was like, hell yeah, like I love Titanic because I do like Titanic a lot. I think this is a good
Yeah.
movie. Not my
Yeah.
favorite movie per
Right.
se, but I think it's a very
Fair.
good movie. But
Hmm.
then the other wolf howling in my ear was like, it's over 3 hours long. Like, when are you gonna sit down
Yeah.
and watch this?
It is crazy now. Like with there are so many movies being shorter now. It's
Yeah.
like it really like is it the attention span slash like you're so burnt like time is so limited after work as is you like I don't want to sit here for 3.5 hours, but yet you'll watch a 10-hour
I
show.
know.
Like,
Well, so just this is just me. Obviously, I don't speak for everybody, but I did
mm-hmm.
not see this movie for many years after
Mm,
until many years after it came out
right.
because I was this was back when it was like two VHS tapes or two DVDs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if a
Right.
movie is so long that you need multiple pieces of media to fit it, I want nothing to
Mm,
do with it. So I was resistant to watching it because I knew I didn't want to sit down for that long.
well, fun fact, I did see it in the theaters.
Did you really?
Yep. My grandmother and my aunt took me to see the
Aww.
movie.
I love that.
Uh, I don't know why. I really can't tell you why, but like I was so big into like the lore of Titanic back then. Not like the movie, like the actual
Yeah,
thing, right?
the
So
lore
like
of Titanic.
yeah, like just when this movie was being made, obviously like it was 97, right? So
Yeah.
we were kids and I don't know, I was just like, "Oh, I really want to see this movie." Not thinking like it's going to be like this love story and stuff.
Romance.
Right. Right. Which like I
You
don't
thought
know
it
if it's the
was
most appropriate.
what did you thought it was gonna be like a documentary about
I,
Titanic?
listen, I had a young kid brain. I have no idea, but
No,
I was just
that's
like I
totally
want to
fair.
see it.
That's very fair. I respect it. I respect it.
Uh yeah. So there's that. And then my other little side fun fact was my great grandmother had this story
Oh
that
God.
she allegedly had a ticket to the Titanic but didn't go.
Really?
But
Do we buy this story? I should ask that.
we did as a kid. But like years later, I like it just like randomly popped in my head, and like I asked my aunts and uncles, they're like, "No, that wasn't true. She just made it up." And I'm like, "It totally makes sense. She never left America. There's no way."
She got on the Titanic going the other way in her
But
dreams.
yeah, I'm like what an
Oh my
absurd story.
god. That's really funny.
Yeah, I wanted to remember that, so I'm glad I did.
So you thought it would be only like the Bill Paxton intro
Right,
piece.
like I guess, yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
Um, but yeah, so I still think after watching it again, I do think it is long, but I do it very much holds up.
Oh,
I think
definitely,
the
yeah.
story is very powerful. Um, I was like researching the fun facts, which I got 10 today, but honestly, there is a lot.
Yeah.
And like, if you are interested in the movie, it is worth checking out. Like, so much work went into this movie, so much attention to detail. It is one thing I will give James Cameron. I don't really love the Avatar side of things, but as far as Titanic is concerned,
Homeboy is committed to lore and story
yeah,
building, for sure.
yeah.
But go ahead, you hit us with your fun facts. Let's go.
All right, so the sketch of Rose was actually drawn by James Cameron. So
What?
that's one. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought you were going to say by Leo, and I was going to be
No.
equally stunned, but I wasn't expecting you to say James Cameron. That's crazy.
Right, right. But then I'm like, I was like, as I was thinking about that, I'm like, so was like Kate Winslet just laying there naked, and he's like, "Stay there, cut scene. I'm gonna draw." Like what? I don't.
Yeah, that's a
I,
good.
like she must have actually been sitting there for a while.
That's that. I don't know, man. Maybe that's better
Yeah.
left unsaid. I
Right,
don't know.
right. Moving along, moving along. Kate Winslet ended up getting hypothermia after filming scenes in the water.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, in that scene at the end with the axe, when she's
Hmm.
trying to get Jack uncuffed, her lips
Yeah.
are blue. Like,
Yeah.
legitimately, there were some camera angles that I was like, oh my god, like, she literally looks like she's gonna freeze to death. So that doesn't
Yeah.
surprise me at all.
Which is crazy because it's not like you could have made it. Like they're actors. They're supposed to act cold. You
Yeah,
could have made the water room temperature. Like I don't know. Like I get like making it as realistic as possible in like a scary movie, like not telling them somebody,
Sure.
like when we talked about what's that summer blockbuster?
Which one?
Die Hard.
I swear to God, you couldn't let the season end without getting one more. Son of a bitch.
I had to before the season ended.
Oh, they didn't
And they
tell.
didn't tell him.
Yeah, they didn't tell Alan Rickman that they were gonna drop
There we
him.
go, Alan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I get that, but like water?
Yeah.
Like you had to make it close
And
to freezing?
clearly, it was like hazardous for them. That's
Right.
a workplace hazard. That's insane.
And they almost that scene where the water like shot out at
Yeah.
them and they kind of like they ran through like a random hallway.
Yeah.
Like she almost drowned because her dress got caught.
You want to know something? As we were rewatching that, I
Yeah.
had that thought at one point, like, okay, I know they're going for realism to show what a dire situation this is, that like people were obviously not prepared for this to be something that was going to happen. But if you've ever tried to walk in a dress that's wet like that,
Yeah. It's
I
gotta
mean,
be hard.
it is exceedingly difficult. And I've walked in wet clothes before it's happened, but I've never
Right.
done it like fully submerged or half submerged in water. So watching them run through those hallways when the boat is flooding, all I could think was, my freaking God, like that's got to be so challenging, especially for Rose, for Kate Winslet, because
Right.
doing that in a heavy dress like that, oh my God, brutal.
Can't imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy. All right, what else we got here? So, the time between the iceberg but the time between when the iceberg was spotted and when it hit the ship was 37 seconds. And so when Cameron shot the scene, he made sure that it lasted that amount of time.
Wow.
Yeah. This
That's
is what I'm saying.
insane.
Yeah.
37 seconds. My God.
I feel so bad. Like, I just felt so bad for the captain because,
I
like,
know.
that, like, the scene, like, early on when he's just like, we're gonna make it, it's gonna be good. And then that fucking guy is like, no, like, like, go all in, go faster. And it's like, you fucked this up. They probably would have saw the iceberg if they didn't
Yeah.
go that fast.
Yeah. I know.
The couple, this is a fun one. So there was actually a lot of people, like a lot of the roles were based on real people.
Huh.
The couple that was lying in the bed, as the water like came and hit
Yeah.
them, that was actually the co-owners of Macy's department store,
Huh. Interesting.
Isidore and Ida Strauss. The shots of the wreckage, that was like that was like the present day with
Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton, yeah. That was footage that James Cameron actually went down
Yeah,
and
that
they
I
got it.
knew.
It's not stock footage,
Yeah,
yeah.
that I did know.
Yeah. Said the first time he went down, he cried. I'm like, all right, stop it. Stop it, James. Stop it. I get your passion. I admire it, but stop it. Here we go. So, the film is 3 hours and 14 minutes.
Here we go.
The scene. Don't have that negative tone here, okay? The scenes that were set in 1912 are a total of 2 hours and 40 minutes, which is how long it actually took the Titanic to sink after the hit the iceberg. Pretty cool, I'd say. Pretty cool. You're not impressed. All right,
Listen,
moving along.
I appreciate, like you said, the attention to detail. That's a nice
Mhm.
little homage to the sinking of the Titanic and being real to the time. But like it's not like I'm clocking that as I'm watching the movie. What I
Right.
will say is the
True.
good thing about, and you said the movie still holds up even though it's long, it is
Yeah.
paced very well. Like it doesn't necessarily feel as long as it is. It just seems daunting when you realize I'm going to be sitting here for almost 3.5 hours. But
Yeah.
I was trying to think about this for our conversation today. Like, if I was going
Right.
to trim it down, what would I
Mhm.
cut? And it's hard to come up with stuff. Like, maybe some of
Yeah.
the bits of the panic on the deck of the ship, like, after a while, that just got really difficult and depressing to watch, to be honest with you. Just everybody like
Yeah,
crying
I
and
agree.
screaming. But if Cameron's intent was, I want this to be true to the time that
Mhm.
elapsed as all of this was really going down, I
Mhm.
can't say he did a bad job because that's really the only time I can find in the entire runtime of the movie that I'm like, I don't really know that this needed to go on as long as it did, you know?
Well, do you think like they needed the present day shots?
Like the Bill Paxton crap?
Yeah.
I do.
Like if they cut that out, like would it still work? Because
Probably,
I almost
but
feel like it would. Like I don't know.
it
Just to me,
probably
I don't think you
would.
need it.
It
Yeah.
probably would, but I think I said this to you last night. I happen to think that having Rose in the present day telling this to us as a story and then us watching her memory is an
Hmm.
incredibly effective way to tell this story than to just throw us on the ship. Like, I was way more invested, I think, because of
Okay.
them making that storytelling choice. And without the
Hmm.
present day stuff, you don't get that. And that resonated strongly with me. So for me, like, no, I wouldn't cut any of the present day stuff because I need, however, what was it, 87 years ago? 84 years ago, she's talking about?
Yes. Yeah. It's been 84 years.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yeah.
I need that preamble of her talking about like when he
Hmm.
says who's that in the drawing, she goes, "Oh, it was me." Like immediately from that moment, I'm like, "Oh, I need to know all about this woman now and I need to know about this painting and what happened." Whereas if you just threw me on, like, right to the scene where Jack is playing poker and trying to win the ticket, and you see Rose embarking with
Right.
Cal and her family, do I still think I would have gotten invested in the love story and the characters? Yeah, I'm sure I would have. But
Hmm.
I think I was more invested from the gate because they had present day Rose telling it to me, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder though if they did start from the Jack scene and they hit you at the end with like her just being in like where was they supposed to like end up, like somewhere in Cali, right? Venice Beach, was it? Did
Maybe
they talk about?
I feel like they might
Forget
have.
what they
But
said.
they
Yeah,
do,
it was like
don't
some.
they hit the Statue of Liberty at the end?
Yeah. But like if you like kind of like went like a little like years later and like she ends up where they were supposed to end up
Oh,
and then
yeah.
called it like boom sunset. I don't know. It is interesting. I think it could have done it without it, but I do see your point. Like it kind of gives you a like well-rounded picture, um, and the must-needed pictures in her room for that present day. Kind of, it does allude to like she ended up living. It seems like a successful life. So
Yeah, yeah. And the life she wanted to live on her terms, which I think was one of the big themes of the story is like she didn't want to be who everybody else wanted her to be. She wanted to live life on her terms. And I always find that endearing when they show her like on the horse and all the stuff at the end. It's like she clearly
yeah,
ended up doing exactly what she wanted to do. And that it's like good for her, you know?
it is. Do you think it's like a little messed up that she obviously kept tabs on Cal later on because like she finds out what happened to him, but like never mentions her mother at all? Like,
I do find that extremely bizarre that she
yeah,
never
never
brings
found.
up Molly, she never brings up her mother, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Any of the
Yeah,
people she was supposed to be on that lifeboat with, we don't hear anything about. I do find that to be strange. Definitely.
yeah, yeah. That was like strike one before that infamous drop. But before that, we have what else do we got? So it is the first film to gross $1 billion worldwide. Not surprising.
Yeah, I believe that.
There is the infamous debate over the door. James Cameron did come out and say that it was designed so that Jack would die, had to die in the story. So,
Then pick a different door, my guy. It just seemed ridiculous that he was like, oh, I'll just sit here and freeze to death. That door was comically huge.
it was, but I will say I get it. Because the guy with the whistle, right? He had a chunk and he was like the piece was going down as he was putting his weight on it. I think if they both equally put the weight on that piece, it would have flattened and
Whatever.
they both would be dead. Now, I will say
I'm listening.
if she died in that water too and it ended there, I would have been fine too.
Right,
But
right, yeah.
again,
I don't know, man.
yeah, I don't know. Cameron was persistent on building a near full-scale replica of the Titanic. The one
Brother's
that was
gotta
made
let
was
it go a little bit.
right.
This is getting a little out of hand.
The one that was made was 90% the size of the real ship.
That's
It's
absurd.
crazy. That's what I'm saying though. Like if you go in and watch, like I was watching some of the YouTube videos, it's crazy the amount of like design and detail that went into this movie.
I don't know, man. We didn't need the Titanic built to scale. That's a little wild to me. God.
Right. I agree. And to round it out here, McConaughey was actually read and thought he had the part for Jack, but Cameron decided against it. It was more because the studio execs didn't think that DiCaprio could handle this like scale of a role. But
Really? I guess
yeah,
that he was still pretty early in his career.
yeah, it was like Gilbert Grape, and I forget the other one that
Which
was
he
before.
was phenomenal in.
But
Phenomenal.
wasn't he not? Was I'd never seen it. I forget. It's on my list. But wasn't he not the main like actor in that, or was
Johnny
he?
Depp probably would have been considered top billed, but DiCaprio as Arnie had pretty much equal screen time. Him and Johnny Depp were together for most of it.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay.
But looking at the cast of characters, I think they would have billed Johnny Depp over Leonardo DiCaprio.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. And then Gwyneth Paltrow was considered potentially for Rose, but didn't get it.
You see, you know what's so funny? And this is no disrespect to Matthew McConaughey. You and I have both discussed this. I love Matthew McConaughey. I can't see him as Jack.
These are always very hard to go back because you're
Because
like,
you know the character.
it's so iconic.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what
There's a
would be
movie
a
later
fun
on
fact
where
to know?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, you go ahead. There's
No,
a movie
no.
later on.
No. There's a movie later on where I think it does make an interesting point, but we'll get to that when we get to that episode. So
Okay.
yeah, go ahead.
I think it would be fun if, as a fun fact, if somebody tallied up how many times Leonardo DiCaprio says Rose and how many times Kate Winslet says Jack. Because there are some times where they say each other's names so often in a sentence
Right.
that it makes someone wonder, like, do they have amnesia or something? Do they have to keep repeating the person's name or they're not going to know who they are? It has to be an insane amount of times that they say Jack and Rose collectively.
Especially the second half of the movie. And once the water is coming up the boat.
Right.
Yeah, so that's it. That's what I have. But again, there is a lot more out there.
Yeah.
I hit a wall and I was like, I'm not gonna just spit you with facts all day.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
So yeah, who do you think is the biggest piece of shit?
Cal.
Okay, so I was thinking Cal too, but it's hard because Lovejoy is equally a piece of shit.
Yeah, that's true. But Cal
Right?
is smacking Kate Winslet around, so he is way worse to me. Lovejoy doesn't raise hands.
No, and I forget that he gets like just fucked in the end.
Yeah.
I like, he was one I couldn't remember what happened to him. I really like, it was a nice send off, I guess, to tell us like what eventually happened to Cal. Like it didn't work out for him, but I'm like, I still would have preferred like he fell in, or he was the guy who actually fell and hit the propeller, like, you know.
Right. No, he is the absolute scourge of the earth as far as I'm concerned. He treats Rose terribly, and not even in the moments where he's violent or he's physical. He is awful to her from the second they are on screen together, and he's just generally awful to basically every single person he interacts with. But
Yeah.
no, he is the quintessential villain of this movie.
He's just very weird. He was just very weird too, with like how he was handling Jack, especially. Like, I don't know, it was just very off. Like he was like jealous, but he wasn't really like aggressive. He was like having people do his dirty work, you know, like Lovejoy.
He's I don't even have
Yeah.
words. I just really dislike that guy. Billy Zane did an amazing job playing him because
Of course.
he sold it so well, like how truly awful this guy was. But he there are parts where he makes the movie difficult for me to get through because I just want to punch him in the face.
Yeah.
So bad. Ugh. And close second is probably Rose's mother, because she is insufferable also the whole movie.
True.
It's just the whole, like, and I know that's the whole point, right? Is that Jack is put into this world where clearly he is not from, he doesn't belong. And Rose is just trying to get into his world where that side feels she doesn't belong. You know what I mean? But
Right.
Cal and I think Rita is her mom's name, if I'm not mistaken, in the movie. They go so far out of their way to be like, I'm so high above you, like, look at my class. And do you remember the conversation when you find out that the reason they're trying to marry Rose to Cal is because that family
They're
about to
broke.
lose their money? Yeah. Like, you see how awful this guy is to your own daughter, and all you care about is inheriting his
is
money.
and not having to do
Yeah.
work pretty much. Like
It's so diabolical to me. Ugh. Yuck.
the other guy, the one who just like sneaks on the boat after, like even though he's the reason why the boat basically crashed.
Yeah.
Like he's up there too though. He's got to be up there for worst
Yeah.
characters. He's probably not the worst of the worst, but he's pretty bad because he did kill a bunch of people.
He's bad. He seems less bad or feels less bad. I think only because he doesn't have as much screen time as the other two.
Right, right. He was also based on a real person, and he got like
Oh wow.
ridiculed in like the papers and stuff. So he did get his.
Good.
Trying to like the other thing that was getting to me is like Jack's like buddies are just like like not important at all. Like
No,
they're there for
like
like the first scene and then you never see them again until
Fabrizio is with him,
yeah,
wins the ticket, and then you barely see him for the rest of the movie.
right. Which I don't know if you caught like when they won the tickets in the poker game or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
The knife they also won was the knife he was using to cut the ropes.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, nice little tidbit.
That is a nice little touch there.
So
Who do you think is best character? We went through Woat. Who's the goat?
I personally liked the carpenter guy, the one who like was part of the design of the ship,
Me too.
because I really feel like he just really wanted it to go well,
Yeah.
and like he wasn't like to me he didn't come across like he was looking for the fame. He was just looking to be like I did this. Like
Yeah.
look at what I
Yep.
did, and then
Yep.
to be like this is a failure. This is going to be one of the most tragic things in history. Like I don't want to be a part of it, but he was still like handing out life jackets, telling
Yeah.
people to go. Like
Yep. Yep.
to me, I think he's like the best character.
I love
The
his
captain, I
character
feel
too.
more better, but
Yeah.
yeah. hmm Jack was like, he was fine, but
Jack is world's most endearing character, I think, but
mm,
he didn't really do anything grand in the grand scheme of things. Like you said,
no,
I think the character you're referring to, why his name is escaping me, I couldn't really.
yeah, he's a big actor. I can't think of his name.
Victor Garber. It's
There we go.
yeah, as Thomas Andrews is the character we're
Okay,
talking about. He cared equally about every single passenger that was on that ship.
yeah,
And he just, like you said, he wanted to be a part of building something or creating something great. And then just seeing the utter devastation when he realized, like, well, like, when they're like, she can't sink, and he's like, oh, she's made of iron. I assure you, she's gonna sink. Like,
right,
it's happening.
yeah,
Just he sold the heartbreak of that and the devastation of that really, really well. And like you said, to the bitter end, he's like, take my life jacket, make sure you get yourself to safety. It was very selfless at the end, for sure.
Also, shout out the band for
Oh,
sticking it
the
out because
band,
they're
the
like,
goats, yes.
yeah, yeah,
Oh, and then when he says it was a pleasure, it was a privilege playing with you this evening. It's so
and they're like,
sad.
they're gonna leave, and then they're like, ah, fuck it, like there's nothing, we're done. Like,
Yeah, it's so sad. The whole second act of that movie, it was so sad. Or maybe it's the final act, like the last third of it. It's just so
right,
sad to watch. There were points where I was getting like anxious watching it because it really just is devastating to think about and to see play out.
yeah, it's basically after like the future Rose says like that's like the last day we had like on the Titanic. Then
Yeah.
you're like, well, fuck,
Yep.
here we go.
Yep.
I like to me, I would have preferred falling in the water and just like dying cold there. The people that got like sucked in when
Oh
they were like
yeah,
in the like
yeah, awful.
fuck that.
Awful. I agree.
Like
I agree. All right, last question for you. What are you yay or nay on the Jack and Rose romance?
it's movie romance, right? Like I get it for the movie, but like realistically, what did they know each other for? 2 days? I mean, that's just crazy.
It's another one of those stories where it's like you've known this person for 10 minutes.
Right.
Now,
Right.
granted, the reason this feels a little bit different to me is like the circumstances under which they met. Like she was at rock bottom thinking of chucking herself over the freaking bow of the ship. And he
Yeah,
comes
which I
and
also forgot about. But
yeah.
yeah.
And he comes and you jump, I jump. Like I do feel like if you trauma bond to somebody like that in an extreme circumstance, almost like we talked
Mhm.
about in Speed. Like
Yeah.
if there's a dire situation that connects you to a person, I do give a little credence to you probably form some very serious emotional attachment a
Right.
lot quicker than some person you meet under normal circumstances.
Yeah.
And for the purposes of the movie, it really is one of those like timeless love
Oh,
stories for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah. It was a good love story. It's just like that whole
Albeit
scenario.
unrealistic.
Yeah, just like I could see them falling in love and whatever, but the part where it's like go down to all those decks to get him where he's underwater and then you're looking for something to free him and then you get the axe. I would instantly pass out from like the axe. And I love how she like misses the target and he's like, "All
Oh,
right, you're good to
yeah.
go. You're good to go."
Not me. I would have been like,
Yeah.
just leave me here. It's fine.
Yeah.
Save yourself.
I mean, listen, we're probably going to die in this water anyway, but if I
Yeah.
got to lose my finger.
I will also say that I think Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio were absolutely perfect together.
Mhm.
They are an iconic movie romance couple for me, and
Mhm.
it's endearing because they've stayed close all these years. But they sold it well. Like I
Mhm.
bought into the fact that they really truly did care about each other, even
Yeah.
though it seemed a little like crazy that it would have gone down the way it did. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I in a way I think I don't want to say it was like trauma bonding that in real life, but I feel like the pressure of this movie because it was really big budgeted
Oh
for
yeah,
the
yeah,
time, and so like to be the main actor and actress in it, and it like if it didn't do well, that could have like
yeah.
changed your whole career trajectory.
A hundred
So
percent. Yeah,
I think there's that aspect of it, but it's still just so crazy to me, like how it all happens, and I think that's when I texted you yesterday was just like the impact of just knowing that it's never going to work out when you watch this movie is it's
yeah.
so heartbreaking to
It
see.
is.
Um I'm like it still fascinates me, but it's just like god damn it. Like it's just like nobody's going to fucking live pretty much.
Yeah.
Here's an idea and you could tell me if I'm off base here. I personally think I'm not saying redo Jack and Rose. I'm not saying that.
Okay.
What I'm saying though is if they were to reboot this, I would be okay with it on this aspect. You get like deep details into like uh, I would probably do it as a TV series. And I
Okay.
would start with like the construction of the ship and then people ending up on the boat and character developing them. So it's like almost a show where like you're getting like Game of Thrones where you spend some time with different kinds of people and then you don't know at the same time like which characters end up dying and which ones end up living. So I think like just the whole aspect of like how the ship was designed and talking about the story of like maybe what flaws the ship had when it was in construction to going into like the story told from multiple different viewpoints.
Hmm.
Like I think that would be kind of interesting. But
I think
since
it's
we're on
because
like we're on reboot era
yeah.
anyway.
No, I could see it working like you said if they went more for like a cuz you don't see anything about to your point the making of the ship. It's like they get on the ship, it's supposed to be the ship of dreams, all this stuff and then it goes horribly wrong. So, I
Right.
if they were going to reboot it, I do appreciate the approach you just laid out, but I agree with you. There could be no Jack or no Rose cuz I want nothing to do
Yeah,
with it if
no.
there is. I have already seen that story. I don't want to see it again.
Right. Right.
Show me
Right.
Fabrizio. What did Fabrizio do for the entire duration of this voyage? That's what I want
Nothing.
to know. No, he did
And
something.
yeah, it's true. He cut a couple ropes.
Yeah, he did
Um,
something. Then he got smushed at
or-
the end. I was very
yeah.
upset.
That's that might have been the worst way to go.
Yep.
I
Especially
think.
because he fights so hard, like not to get sucked in and to get out there, and you're like, go, Fabrizio. And then just whoosh.
Bang.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
terrible to watch.
All right, so I think overall, I think it's a clear skies. I think it's a good
Yeah,
movie.
definitely. It's a
I think it's
classic.
worth the watch.
I
I
agree.
agree, it's not my favorite movie,
Yeah.
but it's definitely a powerful one.
Yep.
Definitely gets you in your feels. It is depressing,
Very much
you
so.
know. So like, I remember like at the end of it, I'm just like, I almost like need to watch something happy to kind of like
That's exactly what I
boost
did.
this vibe. It's
I
like,
needed I
yeah,
needed some late night eye bleach and like just passive funny crap to watch before I went to bed because I was like, I cannot start dreaming on this note.
right,
It's not a good
right.
spot to be in. Because literally for the one, like you said, once she says that was the last time we saw daylight on the Titanic or whatever she says, not one single good thing happens.
No,
Zero good
no,
things. So
no. And like
like
the biggest piece of shit survives, at least from the ship, and you're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
you couldn't even give me that.
Yeah. Jack
But
has to die, but this idiot gets to live. What the hell?
right, all right. And I guess we can close out with like, what's your thoughts on this jewel or this big jewel just being dropped in the ocean?
Okay. I know. Why? Why?
Right.
Listen, if your argument was I didn't want to keep it because Cal's an idiot, I'm with you. But you've had it for 80 something years.
Yeah.
Pawn
Clearly, it
it.
was a backup plan.
Sell it. Get like
Right.
I don't know. Do some
Millions.
millions easy.
What did he say? It was
That
like 56 carats or something like that. I forget.
something absurd. But the fact that she's just like, huh, and that's it, just like chuck it into the ocean. What were you hoping? Bill Paxton was gonna find it and be so happy because you know that's what he was looking for? I don't understand the end game there.
Imagine Bill Paxton was like on the side and he just jumps off the boat. That would have been
That would have been
nice
an
little
ending.
comic relief send
Yeah.
off.
It just jumps in after it, yeah. And I know there's probably some deeper meaning, like now that she was able to relive that story, it was closure. She could finally throw the past away. You know, it is the heart of the ocean. She's giving it back to the ocean, whatever. I'm sure there's deeper meaning there, but it seems insane to me.
But that's the thing is like, you kept tabs on Cal and you kept the necklace he got you. It's a little suspect. It's just a little
It's a little
suspect here.
sus. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and you kept it. Because I can see your argument if it was something that Jack gave her. Then I'd be like, oh, okay, she's told the story that she never told anybody. And then she's like letting it go. Like, I
But
get it.
if you think about it, like Cal is part of that story. Like maybe she never divulged how bad he really treated her, or, you know, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Maybe it's baggage one way or the other.
Right. Right.
But that's not what
Yeah.
I would have done. If I had a 56 carat diamond, I would not be flinging it into the sea.
Yeah, no. No. Beautiful diamond, beautiful diamond.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right,
What a
well,
movie. So,
what a movie is right, but Brian, what say you? Shall we imagine that we are living Titanic life with a little this or that?
okay.
All right. So tell me, first class cabin or third class party?
I feel like the third class party is way better.
100% it is.
I'm so uncomfortable around like rich people like that.
Hoity-toity crap, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
But the problem is like being stuck with that gate terrified me when they like locked it. That was
that's
terrifying.
fair. That's fair.
But party wise, yeah, it put me on the level 3.
So, would you rather dine at the a la carte restaurant, so by the menu, you get to order off the menu, or would you rather enjoy the Parisian cafe?
I'd probably go Parisian
Me
cafe.
too. I was gonna say I'm a cafe gal myself. I want a little espresso,
Yeah.
maybe a little croissant, a little baked good, a
Yeah.
little salad situation. Um,
Yes.
exactly.
We got her. Ladies and
You got
gentlemen, we
me. You
got
got
her.
me. Oh
Uh,
God. What? All right. So, what about if you were to get on the Titanic? Would you rather have the knowledge that it is going to sink, or just the ignorance of being able to get on there and enjoy?
no, I would not want to know.
I wouldn't want
Because
to
if you
know
know,
either.
yeah, you're not gonna enjoy it at all,
You're
and then you're
also
gonna be
not going to
like,
get on the ship. If
right,
I
right.
knew, I wouldn't get on the ship. Like,
But what if they didn't like? They just like, all right, boom. You just like you're 10 minutes out into the ocean,
oh,
and
and
then they
then they're
go,
like, oh, on our
then they're,
trajectory, we're
by the
yeah,
way, this thing,
yeah,
yeah.
a hundred
I
percent,
mean,
one way or the other. I don't want to know. Don't tell me.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
what
because
good does knowing do? You're in the middle of the ocean. It's not like, I guess the question also, it begs the question, like, does everybody know it's going to sink? Because if the captain knows, or someone who could help with preparation so it's not as big a catastrophe, then maybe I feel a little bit different. But from if it's just the difference of me knowing or not knowing, I wouldn't want to know.
yeah, I don't. Even if you did know, it's like getting people to believe you is another thing. So
Have you ever seen the movie Big Fish with Ewan McGregor?
no,
Okay.
mm-mm.
Maybe we'll watch that one day because that's one of my favorites. I love that movie. But
Mm-hmm.
part of the whole plot telling device is the main character learns when and how he's going to die.
Okay.
And I always used to go back and forth with myself like, would I rather know or
Mm-hmm.
not know? And I
Yeah.
always end at the end of the day, I always end up with like, no, I wouldn't want to know with that much detail because then I'd be living every day marching towards like, well, I know I have 70,000 days till my last day. Like, I feel like you can't live life to the fullest if you're living it to an end date, you know?
Yes and no, because I feel like if you like say they told you you had a year left, I feel like you would kind of like you would use your money differently. You know, like I wouldn't really care as much. Like I wouldn't really like I would work up to a certain point and then just be like, fuck it, and then kind of like live the rest of my days knowing that like it's gonna come. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a tough question to answer, but like I do feel like if you had a set amount of time, not like it's one thing to be like you have 40 years or something. Like if you had 40 years or 50 years, it's a little hard to like plan, but if they told you you had like 1 year or 2 years, it's a little like I guess you could plan it a little bit better. I don't know.
Yeah. I know how my brain works and I feel like I would just be fixated on like that that reality of knowing on this day at this time like that's it. And you know, Big Fish is a great I really do recommend this movie and I'm not going to say much
Hmm.
more about it, but it kind of it explores what you're saying about how like if you know exactly how you're going to go and when,
Hmm.
everything up to that you do doesn't matter, right? Because you know
Right.
that's not how you go. And
Hmm.
it can be freeing in a way to
Hmm.
take some risks and do some big things because you're like, well, it's not my time and that's not how I go.
Which is the whole point of life, right?
Yeah,
Is
but
take
I don't
chances.
I don't know, man. I feel like I would just be paralyzed by knowing personally. But I've completely derailed this conversation and I'm so sorry for that.
No, it's
Um
okay.
what about being the person to spot the iceberg or being the person to steer away from it?
I mean, either way, they were fucked. So
Yeah, it's kind of
really,
like
kind
a
of a moot.
yeah.
Because I mean, I feel bad because like obviously that guy like tried so hard to like turn the boat, turn the
I
boat, turn the
know, I
boat, and it's
know.
like they really just didn't have enough time.
37
37
seconds.
seconds.
Awful.
Crazy.
Awful. Yeah, I think that one's kind of a draw. It's like they were both in
Predicaments.
such tough spots. Yeah.
Did this terrify you, by the way, of taking any cruises?
No, I love cruising. I've only been on one
Hmm.
in my life, but I absolutely loved it, and I'm dying to get on another one.
Interesting.
Why?
I don't know.
It's so majestic. You just look out, and there's all this beautiful water, and it feels like
I
luxury. I don't know. I loved it. I had a very good experience.
I don't know. I will say it's not like the main reason why. I just like I don't know. Being trapped out on sea like that is not that and camping. I'm just are two things. I just I don't see the appeal. I mean, more so a ship because like obviously there's things to do and whatever. But I
Sure.
don't know. There's so many horror stories.
That is not an unfair statement. I don't disagree. I just happened to have a very good experience when I did it. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, it's
Mm-hmm.
only positive memories.
Right.
Um, all right, last question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather, if you could keep one of these items, what would it be? The heart of the ocean or the sketchbook?
First of all, you nailed it when you said that drawing would not last. There's no way. No fucking way. That thing would be fucking lint. Have you seen a drawing that ends up in your pocket like paper when you do it in a washing machine? There's
Yes,
no fucking way. It's triple times a washing machine.
that's what
There's
I
no way.
said. They're
Yeah.
sitting here
There's
scraping crud off the paper. I'm like, the paper would disintegrate. If
which
not,
looked
what kind of paper is this? Because I need to get some quickly.
right. Right.
Do you know how often I'm spilling shit on notes I write or important documents I need? If there is paper that can hold up to being in the water for 80 some years, tell me where to
Yeah.
buy it because I want some.
Right. Right.
Ridiculous. But let's go with the movie magic. The sketchbook it was
Yeah.
restorable.
Yeah. I mean, I like art, so I would probably go that way. Although obviously the heart of the ocean would make you nice financially, but
Well, so that's the whole thing is it depends on how you interpret this question because if it's
right.
which would you take with
Mhm.
you to use for whatever you want,
Yeah.
then the obviously the diamond is worth way more than the sketchbook because Jack Dawson died before he was a famous artist or anything. However, if you're thinking of it as something to keep for yourself,
Right.
I'd take the
Mm.
sketchbook any day because there's so much more sentimental value in what was there, especially considering the circumstances under which that necklace was given to her. It wasn't even given in like a loving way. It was given in
No.
like a look what I bought you kind of. I don't know.
Right.
It just the whole thing. I hate Cal. He's so bad. He's so
Yeah.
bad.
I mean, the only other thing too is like Jack Dawson. There's no record of him. She said so. Like you're never gonna
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So like the other thing is like the sketchbook is really just kind of worthless, but it is how you look at the question.
Yeah.
So that was the last one you
That's all I
had?
got. Yeah, because the final question was obviously the great door debate, but we already touched on that, so we don't need to rehash it again.
Yeah. I mean, as a younger kid, I was like, why didn't they just like gather the pieces together and then like all float on it? But like, obviously now when I watch it, it's like it's freezing fucking cold. Your muscles are probably contracting as
Yeah.
you're just done.
I just think it's crazy when the boat is coming and she's like, "Jack, there's a boat." And she's like shocked to find that he's not alive anymore. Like, yeah, do you feel how cold it is, lady? Like, why are we
He's
shocked by this information? Odd.
I still don't understand though, because it's not like she was fully out of the water. So I feel like she would be dead too, but whatever. Then we
Brian's on
wouldn't have the
Team Rose
future.
should have drowned too, clearly.
I do. I think both lovers should have died. I don't know. You know, and you know what? The old lady, The old lady sucked. Okay,
Whoa!
let's just put it
Whoa!
let's just put it there.
Whoa! What
Okay.
do you mean? How
What do
dare
I
you?
mean? Okay. She fucking keeps this medallion of Cal, the Mr. Piece of Shit. Couldn't even give it to your granddaughter? Maybe
I
help
know.
her out a little
No,
bit?
instead we threw it into the ocean.
The other thing, yeah. Well, the other thing too is like there wasn't one good survivor. Like I get you could throw Rose in there, fine,
He's
but like
What did she do? Now I'm confused. Why are you hating on
no,
Rose like that?
but other than Rose, I'm saying like there was a lot of good amount of there was a good amount of good characters. We couldn't throw a bone to one of them. You just kept every piece of shit. You kept Cal. You kept the guy that like told them they needed to go faster to make headlines. You kept the what was the other guy? I forget. But like it's just I don't know. You couldn't throw a bone to somebody else. Anyway, if I think about this more, I'm just gonna get annoyed. So just
All
carry
right.
on.
All right, we'll move past it. We'll move past it.
All right. How about to tie in on our final questions here, since it is our season finale? Um, Trying to think of any. What's your favorite episode? Let's go there.
I loved Pulp Fiction.
Mm-hmm.
I loved all of our holiday episodes. It's really hard to pick a favorite. Thanksgiving was phenomenal. Die Hard I
Mm-hmm.
loved because I think that was our first on-air argument.
It
Was
might
Die
have been. It
Hard.
might have been.
I also I do love our early episodes. Like I loved 10 Things I Hate About You. I loved She's All That. Um it's really hard to pick a favorite.
She's all that. Like, will definitely hold like a solid memory
Special
because it was
place.
the first
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too. Me too.
Um, I I think like Halloween, the candy was like to me that was like the breakout
Yeah,
moment
yeah, yeah.
because that's when we really were like just like let it
Let
fly.
it rip. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then like Thanksgiving really like you kind of you have these moments right where you're like, oh, this was such a great episode, can you top it? And then doing the Thanksgiving and then doing the Christmas and then even after Christmas I'm like, we had the drive of holidays, like what are we gonna do now? But then like we had the Valentine's Day, we had the Pulp Fiction episode, um, the Godzilla episode was a lot of fun. So like shape shifting,
Yeah.
but um, yeah. So to me, I think my favorite is the Thanksgiving
Okay.
because that
That's
was
fair.
really when we started to like have the questions of the back and forth, and the fruits of the forest pie being like that was like when I really started to realize like okay, like we can start to clip a lot of the stuff we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
some episodes I'm like it's hard to find,
No, we
what's
got jokes. We
hookable,
got
but
jokes
yeah,
here on Popcorn and Possibilities.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm going Thanksgiving, but
Okay. No, I think that's totally
Thanksgiving.
fair. Thanksgiving.
Most unhinged moment.
There have been a lot. Fruits of the Forest was pretty unhinged.
Yeah,
That was an
yeah,
unhinged moment. Your mac and cheese story also unhinged
yeah,
behavior. Um what else? Oh my god. We've had some real unhinged. Probably our Die Hard, our undying
Die Hard.
Die Hard argument is pretty up there in
Mm-hmm.
terms of unhinged energy.
Hmm. Cranberry sauce. It was a lot of
Cranberry sauce.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, then like more recently, I think the Easter
Oh my
was pretty fun.
Easter was excellent. Yeah, that was really good. That was really, really good. I think some of our intros bring a certain je ne sais quoi, a certain unhingedness to the table.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So favorite movie that we've watched.
Oh my god, that's an impossible question. That's an impossible question.
Is it? I don't know.
Yes, because they're like all my favorites from different
from different genres.
genres or times of the year, that really is an exceedingly difficult question.
Would it help if I took the holidays out?
No. Well, yeah.
No.
Yeah, no. No.
Well, maybe because it's like I'm suffering a little from like current day. Um,
Yeah,
but I
where's your
did
head
and
at?
I did really enjoy Pulp Fiction.
Pulp
Um,
Fiction is probably my favorite movie in terms of how I rate it, how many times I've seen it that we've watched.
yeah.
Um, but like if you put Pulp Fiction and 10 Things I Hate About You together, I can't pick one because they're so different to me.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I mean, the way I'm looking at it is this, like I think Pulp Fiction out of the movies that I kind of consider Pulp Fiction as a movie I haven't seen. So out of like ones I haven't seen, I probably give number 2 to like She's All That.
Oh,
Um,
I
I
think
think
Pretty Woman is up there for me too because I hadn't
that
seen
one.
Pretty Woman before we watched it together. Um,
Gross Point Blank was
oh
probably the most
yes,
surprising.
yes, that was a great one. That was a great one. Yeah,
Mm, trying to go
we've
through
been
there.
lucky, man. We've seen some of the best from the '90s. We've also seen some definite misses, and there will be
Definitely.
more for sure. But
I think the movie that was the hardest to get past was Romeo and Juliet.
oh my God, hands down.
Yeah.
Independence Day was upsettingly difficult for me too.
I'm going to say that one I will say maybe I was a little harsh on.
No, you
That
weren't. You weren't.
okay. All right, fine. But
Jaws is an excellent movie too. When we watch Jaws, that's one of my favorites as well.
yeah.
I'm telling you, it's impossible for me to
It's
pick
a
a
hard
favorite
question.
movie. It's really hard. We curated a good list this season.
We did.
We
We
did
did. We
look.
really
We had the misfortune of watching like Snow Day, which is time I'll never get back in my life. But that's okay. You win some, you lose some.
we definitely have started this season or this year as like more trying to keep it on a consistency,
Yeah.
I guess you can say. So, with February we had the Clueless, we had Romeo and Juliet, so we kept it like on a love theme. Pulp Fiction was just kind of, a random one that,
We just really
I
wanted to
wanted
watch
to
Pulp
see.
Fiction. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I will say, starting off in season 2, we are going to head into sci-fi summer.
I
So,
love it.
do you want to tell them or do you want to hold off?
No, let it be a surprise. We
All
can't put
right, all
all of our
right.
cards on the table, but you are getting
Yeah.
some iconic 90s sci-fi flicks on the way. So stick around.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for listening. We appreciate it. We always appreciate when you comment on posts or if you like on a poll, like a story, whatever. We definitely appreciate any feedback if you have. If there's a movie you want to watch or if you had an interview that you want us to provide, let us know. We are at Pop and Pos Pod. Tell your friends about it. We're looking to step our game up a little. For now, we'll see you for season 2. Steph,
And
any final words?
yeah, just we can't thank you all enough for, participating, for listening because we were a couple regular guys with a thought and a dream, and this last year has blossomed into something that we could not feel as good about or be as excited about if not for you all out there listening and being a part of this journey with us. So we thank you, we appreciate you, and we can't wait to hopefully keep you laughing and keep you watching in season 2.
Yes, yes. All right. Well, keep your popcorn popping.
And your possibilities endless.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.